Welcome back to the Dylan Shea channel. Today we're doing a roundup of game week 3 in the Premier League, things we saw, things we learnt, highlighting 5 games in particular that we saw on the weekend. For me, the best weekend we've had so far this season of Premier League football, when you look at how many goals, the results, how good the games were, the quality. Game week 3 so far has been the best weekend so far, and we still have Man United and Liverpool to come tonight. So yeah, let's start with the first game that we saw, which was Chelsea travel to Leeds and get smashed, basically 3-0. A lot went wrong for Chelsea. We'll start with the determination. I mean, at Leeds, for a start, man, 11 kilometres more, about 11 kilometres more than Chelsea. That's every player. On average, that's every player doing 1k extra. That's bad. That is very, very bad. Leeds looked fantastic, to be honest. I thought they pressed Chelsea really well, which is something obviously Spurs didn't do. However, I knew Chelsea would not perform to that level again. Chelsea always perform against Spurs, every single time. So from that performance, it was always going to be a bit of a come down, and a come down it was. Let's just say that. For me, I think Reece James should be starting right wing back for Chelsea. You know, play to your strengths. If you have one of the best right wing backs in the world, play him at right wing back. Don't play him as a centre back. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, you know, he's a good player. Played okay again. Played very good against Spurs. But, you know, what Reece James offers is goal contributions, creativity, which is something that Ruben Loftus-Cheek doesn't offer as much. There was a chance he had where he just should have rifled it into the bottom corner and he tried to dribble it into the goal. If that's Reece James, it's 1-0 Chelsea within 2 minutes. One Chelsea player that struggled in particular was Conor Gallagher. His starting debut for Chelsea, and it couldn't have really gone any worse. I mean, I think Tuchel played him in the wrong role. Like, Conor Gallagher is not a ball-playing midfielder. It's not to say he's a bad footballer, but he's not that sort of player. He's not a Kovacic or a Jorginho. He's not even a Kante, really. He should be higher up the pitch. And, he's a pressing midfielder. He has energy, so much energy. You know, he wasn't short of effort. You know, he made 3 tackles and 3 interceptions, but he did lose the ball 13 times. And, you know, you see that with attackers, they lose the ball, but Conor Gallagher was losing them in positions that, you know, was going to set Leeds off to a counter-attack. Not a great debut for him, but I still think he is a quality player. I just don't think for Chelsea it's going to work, and I don't think he'll make the England squad if he stays at Chelsea. Let's talk about the first goal for Leeds. Mendy Howler. What is he doing? Obviously, wasn't helped by his Chelsea defence. I mean, they all just sort of watched him struggle. Didn't really offer an option for him. I think Reece James has to come shorter there. I think all of the centre-backs do. But Mendy, you just have to get rid of it. You have to get rid of it in that position. It doesn't matter if you lose the ball. A throw-in to Leeds is better than a goal conceded. And he's done it a few times, Edouard Mendy. He's done it against Man United. I mean, I've seen a 2-minute compilation of him doing it already this morning on Twitter. It's not great. Second goal, Rodrigo, brilliant header, and a man that's on absolute fire for Leeds. Is he FPL worthy? I'm not sure. I have to go in my team. I'm looking at him. I am looking at him. I just can't see him keeping this up. You know, he's got 4 goals. He's the top scorer in the Premier League at the moment. A fantastic start for him. And then obviously the third goal from the man of the match, Jack Harrison, made it 3-0. And Leeds just battered, humbled Chelsea, in my opinion. They completely humbled them. You know, this is a derby. Well, not a derby. I don't know if it's not a derby, but it's a rivalry, and Chelsea have to do better. Chelsea have to do better than that. And also you had Koulibaly, obviously, with a red card. Silly. The game was done. It was already 3-0. What are you doing? And he's had such a good start to his Chelsea career as well. I thought there were times, even yesterday, he looked good, despite being 3-0 down. But that is just stupid, isn't it? Now he'll be suspended. Now he will be suspended for the next game as well. Brilliant result for Leeds, nightmare for Chelsea, and Leeds off to a flyer this season. Let's talk about Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa, a 3 PM game on the Saturday. I thought this was a good test for both teams, Aston Villa and Palace. Palace have played Arsenal and Liverpool, so very tough games. You know, wasn't really expecting them to win them, but they looked good in both. And Aston Villa obviously had Everton, who they beat, but Everton not really that big of a challenge. And they had Bournemouth away on the first day of the Prem, which was always going to be a tough game, going away to a newly promoted side. And yeah, it sort of happened what I thought would happen, to be honest, that Crystal Palace are just a much better side than Aston Villa's. You know, maybe not talent-wise, but the job Vieira's done compared to what Steven Gerrard has done at Villa is huge. You know, let's not forget that Patrick Vieira hasn't been at Crystal Palace that much longer than Gerrard's been at Villa. It's been a couple of months, 4 or 5 months, is it? You know, it's not much. And you look at the work that he's done compared to Steven Gerrard, who's, I mean, taken Villa backwards, you could say, probably the favourite to be sacked. And you've got Vieira, whose Palace look really, really good. I thought Buendia came in for Aston Villa for Coutinho, which is one of the only changes that Gerrard made. And I thought he was one of their better players. I thought he looked a threat. And Villa started well, obviously, with the Watkins goal. And then they had another chance. And you were thinking, oh, okay, you know, here we go. But it didn't last very long at all. Let's talk about the goal scorer for the first goal, and the second goal. Wilfried Zaha, who I thought was just unbelievable in this game. He was unbelievable. In all 3 games so far for Crystal Palace, Wilfried Zaha has been fantastic. You know, the Anfield game, he was very, very good. The Arsenal game, the Arsenal game he wasn't great, wasn't bad, but yeah, the last 2 games he's been fantastic. And there's a hair somewhere on my head. I can see it. Don't know where it is though. Another Palace player that was just incredible was Eze. I mean, there was a moment. Why am I out of breath? There was a moment where he just glided past like 3 or 4 players, and then made the pass to Zaha. He was amazing. He was very good against Liverpool as well. You know, them two are just, you know, they are 2 of the most enjoyable players to watch in the league, and for them to be on the same side, I mean, yeah, just a very good team, Crystal Palace, very balanced. And I think that's the big difference between Palace and Villa, is Palace are so balanced. You know, you look at the keeper, good. The defence is good. The midfield is good. You know, Decore, Schlupp and Eze. And then your front 3 of Ayew, Edouard, Zaha. I know some people would say that could be better, but you've got Zaha. You know, you're fine. Edouard's not a bad player. Mateta's not a bad player either. And Ayew. And you have Michael Elise on the bench, you know, a really talented player. Compare that to, okay, Villa have got some good players, but there's inconsistency. Ramsey isn't playing well. McGinn, Villa fans have been complaining about for a while. Coutinho's inconsistent. You don't know what Coutinho you're going to get. Danny Ings hasn't been the same player at Villa. Watkins isn't all that consistent. Bailey, I think, is, you know, he's injury prone. And then you have worries at the back in Mings, and Digne's not been the same player he was at Everton. I think Matty Cash is brilliant, but you know, one of many at Aston Villa. They're just really unbalanced team, and yeah, I don't know what's happened there, because there's so much talent in that team. Yet Palace have showed that they are far superior in this moment in time. Speaking of Eze, you know, a brilliant performance from him. Zaha was man of the match, but Eze and Zaha, they just caused Villa massive problems. They really did. Both completed 3 key passes, both of them. Eze completed all 6 of his dribbles. You know, there's not really any much better player. There's not many players better than Eze for gliding with the ball in the Premier League. I just thought it was really, I thought Palace just showed they were by far superior than Aston Villa at this moment in time. Villa have a lot to work on. Gerrard is under pressure. And it's the complete opposite at Crystal Palace. Let's talk about Newcastle versus Manchester City now. One of the games of the weekend, definitely, probably the best game of the weekend. Really enjoyed it. 6 goals, 3-3. I was worried about Newcastle when I saw Dan Burn at left back. You know, I thought Walker and Bernardo Silva on that side, you know, there could be massive problems. But he did well, Dan Burn. I thought he did really, really well. He's been very consistent, very good signing for Newcastle. And Newcastle, for me, deserved to win. I mean, well, they didn't deserve to win because they didn't win, but they were fantastic, especially in that first half. But Man City showed, they just don't lose often. They haven't lost, I think it's 20 away games in a row, which is unbelievable. They just have a champion's mentality, don't they? I know it's a very cliche thing to say that, but they just do. They just have it. Some teams have it, some teams don't. Man City have it, and also Liverpool as well. A few Man City players I thought that were excellent were Bernardo Silva. I mean, he's just, in the last year, he's just so good, isn't he? I don't think Man City can afford to sell him. I think they're much weaker without him, because you look at what Phil Foden's doing on the other side, and, I have said multiple times, I think Foden's probably the most overrated player in the league. Not talent, just his actual performances. You look at his compared to Bernardo Silva, and they're just, Bernardo Silva's light years ahead at this moment in time. Oh, I sound like Gary Neville. Thought Gundogan was also brilliant. Again, thought he was amazing against West Ham. And he's done amazing again this game, got a goal, but he just absolutely ran the show, to be honest. That midfield for Man City of Rodri, Gundogan and KDB is just frightening. KDB was not that good yesterday, but he still played probably the assist of the season. How he's seen that, by the way. I mean, did anyone else see that? And they're watching the telly, and he's there live on the pitch, doesn't have a bird's eye view like we have, and he still picked him out. Unbelievable. Tell you what I'm not looking forward to, but I like Haaland for some reason. I don't know what it is, but I just like him. So if he does well, I sort of want him to do well, but at the same time I don't like Man City, so sort of cancels each other out. So I'm not really looking forward to it, but I am at the same time for when Man City start playing Haaland in behind more, because he makes so many runs, so many. There's so many times where a Man City player could have slotted him through. It's happened in all 3 games so far where they could have put him through, and he's one-on-one. He's a scary striker. I mean, we've seen he held off so many players yesterday. His link-up play was actually very good. Out of his 4 dribbles that he attempted, he completed 3, made 1 key pass, got a goal. A very complete performance from Erling Haaland, showed all sides of his game. How has Joe Linton improved this much? I don't understand. I completely wrote him off at Newcastle. Thought they should have got a new striker. Callum Wilson's too injury prone. Bring a new striker in, get him out. But to move Joe Linton to midfield it's just been a game changer. He was very good again yesterday. He's consistently good. Off the ball, he's a beast. Doesn't stop running. He's a pressure monster. He's on the ball, he's good as well. I just don't understand it. I don't understand how he's become so good. Let's talk about the man of the match now, though. And for me, this performance is the most under-the-radar performance I think I've ever seen. Alan St-Maximin, that performance yesterday was so world-class, it's a joke. Who does that to Man City? I think we're taking his pace and his dribbling ability for granted, because it just that just comes with it. And we shouldn't, because to do that to Man City is absolutely outrageous. I mean, what player are we actually seeing that does that to Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz, John Stones, Rodri? Absolutely terrorised them yesterday. 2 assists, 4 key passes. 4 key passes, by the way, is nuts. It's crazy to do that against Man City. 2 assists, 6 dribbles completed. Outrageous performance, world class. If he performed like that most games, he's a world class player. And added a goal, a few more goals, he's world class. Genuine. The talent on him is exceptional. It's just truly mind blowing. Talk about Callum Wilson as well, because you've got to feel sorry for him, haven't you? Because if he stays fit, he is a 15 to 20 goal a season striker in the league, easily. His record for Newcastle is on average about 1 in every 2, so 0.5 goals per 90 minutes. He's his finishes as well, they're not easy. He always makes the best out of a situation. That goal yesterday, that is not an easy finish. His first goal of the season as well, where he chipped over the keeper, a very acute finish, brilliant finish that. He's just a quality player, isn't he? He really is. He was in the England squad a few years ago. He could be in there again. I really think so. Calvert-Lewin's not playing at the moment. There's not. I can't think of really many players. Danny Ings massively out of form. I think, if he can stay fit, and you just hope he can, he really can make a push for that England team. I think he can. He's just a brilliant player, Callum Wilson. Really do rate him. So ultimately, I thought Newcastle were brilliant. I thought Man City were good as well. Didn't think Man City were bad. I mean, to come back from that shows it's a good performance, and I think both teams will be happy with the point in the end, because I think St James's Park will be a really tough place to go this season. Let's talk about Tottenham versus Wolves, the first game of the weekend. Now, this was a game of two halves, really. Wolves completely dominant in the first half, which, as a Spurs fan, it was awful. It was terrible to watch, really frustrating. Wolves had 12 shots in the first half, compared to Spurs' 1. Completely embarrassing, actually, from Spurs to put in that performance at home. But, Wolves, again, haven't scored and ultimately paid the price, obviously, because Spurs did win 1-0 in the end. But I did think Wolves were brilliant, especially in that first half. They were really good. They were a threat. But they need a number 9. They really do. You just wish Jimenez can come back to form for them. And I think they'll be okay then. But, if they keep playing like that every game and Raul Jimenez is in there, they'll have a good season. Just to emphasise how, what's the word? Shy Spurs were in that first half. They completed 1 dribble. The whole team completed 1 dribble in the first half. Second half, 6. So you can see the difference there in how much they were more confident. And I imagine they got a bollocking by Antonio Conte at half-time, because, only Perisic, you would say, could have his head held high. He was the only one putting good crosses in, only one trying to make runs, only one with a bit of quality. He was brilliant. He really was fantastic, Perisic. I think he now has that starting left wing-back spot for Spurs. Also, I have no idea how Højbjerg won man of the match. He was dreadful. He was honestly awful. But, in the second half, he was a bit better. He was okay. Made a few good passes. But I thought Bentancur was 10 times better than Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Made 48 out of his 52 passes, which is a 92% success rate. Very robotic, that, wasn't it? Sorry. Yeah. I know stats are boring. Stats are boring in there. I'm not even a big fan of stats, really. More of an eye test kind of guy. It's just, I know there's some people out there that like stats. So, did win all his duels as well, and blocked 3 shots, which is quite good, isn't it? To block 3 shots in the game, that's quite a lot. So, a very complete performance from him. You'd want more in terms of going forward, maybe, but that's not what he does. He's not really going to get goals or assists. So, because I've seen quite a lot of Bentancur hate on Twitter, but he is amazing. Let's talk about Harry Kane. Obviously, there was about 4 different milestones in his goal. His goal for a start was his 250th for Spurs. It was Spurs' 1000th home goal in the Premier League. It makes him the most goals for a single club in Premier League history, and it took him above Sergio Aguero to 185 goals, and it was the winner for Spurs. So, if going above Aguero in the Premier League doesn't make you a Premier League great, I don't know what does. For me, that makes you a certified legend in the Premier League now, and a magnificent player. Just truly a great. Dejan Kulusevski was better in the second half as well, after a poor first half. You want him on the ball more often. He was, in the first half, just hiding, which is what Son done for the full game. Well, for the first 3 games of the season, actually, Son has been dreadful. But Kulusevski in the second half came into it. He was looking for the ball more often, and you know, when he's one-on-one with a defender, you're just confident he can get past him and swing in a good cross, which he did quite a few times. A few positives for Wolves, despite losing 1-0. I thought Max Kilman was brilliant. I thought Nathan Collins was good, apart from the goal, of course. Could have marked Kane better. I thought Wolves played really well. I thought Neto looked back to his best. And I like that midfield three of Nunes, Moutinho and Neves. Nunes was okay. I thought his final third decision-making was poor at times. But yeah, I like it. I like that midfield three. I like the way Wolves play. But yeah, definitely need that number 9 back. Let's talk about the last game I saw of the weekend, which I had no enthusiasm to watch, to be honest. You know, I just watched 3 p.m, 12:30 game, and then I have to watch Bournemouth versus Arsenal as a Spurs fan. Bournemouth, they just don't really get you excited, do they, to watch football? You know, sorry if you're a Bournemouth fan, but I mean, the stadium's tiny, isn't it? It's just not... I don't know, you just don't feel like watching it. It's a bit boring. I thought you sort of knew Arsenal were going to win, which they did. They looked brilliant again. Really annoying. Martin Odegaard is just an unbelievable player. Gabriel Jesus, what is this? Why is he turning into Messi for? I mean, that play where he just... Oh, it's just unbelievable, wasn't it? It was unbelievable. I mean, he just touches it in the air, past 3 or 4 players. Lovely layoff to Martinelli and Odegaard is there. Martinelli's looking great. Saka isn't, actually. Saka isn't looking great. He's looking a bit slow, not really in the game. Although I did think Zamora actually had a fantastic game for Bournemouth. I thought it was a fact of Zamora being good and Saka being bad. But Arsenal looked absolutely fantastic, to be honest. Couldn't have made a better start. Do I think they're title challengers after 3 games? No, I don't. I think when they play Liverpool or Man City, I think you'll see the bit of a gap or still work to go for Arsenal. But there's no doubt they're top 4. Massive contenders for top 4. Yeah, they look great. Saliba is good. Saliba's good. Not just because of the goal, because it's not a centre-back's job to score goals. He just looks so comfortable. Zinchenko... I'm sure we've all seen the clip of him doing kick-ups and just destroying everyone in Arsenal. Yeah, they look good. And it's worrying. It's very worrying. The goals that Arsenal scored, 2 from Odegaard, 2 very good goals. Great finish for the second one. Obviously, the Jesus build-up for the first one was great. Saliba, what a goal that was. And yeah, just a professional performance from Arsenal. Just looked fantastic. And that pink kit is just wonderful, isn't it? Let's talk about Bournemouth, because I thought they were bad. I thought Bournemouth were really bad. I thought Kiefer Moore was okay. I thought he could have been better. I just don't rate Bournemouth's team enough in the Premier League. I think they'll go down. I think they're in big trouble. Yeah, sorry, Bournemouth fans. Yeah, sorry. A few more things obviously happened this weekend. Mitrovic getting a late-minute winner versus Brentford. Yeah, Fulham, they look good, don't they? Fulham do look good. Mitrovic is looking great. I had them to stay up in my predictions, so it's going well for me. Brentford are looking better than what I thought. West Ham, David Moyes, what's happened there? Because it's not just the last 3 games. If you look at their last 10 games, they've won 1, I think. I think they've won 1, and they've lost about 7. So it's not looking great for them at all. Brighton, on the other hand, is looking amazing. Yeah. Brighton have been really impressive. I just think Graham Potter's so good. Leicester, I mean, they've bottled it again. How many times have they lost a game from a winning position? Got to be so frustrating as a Leicester fan. I think Rodgers has to get those players that want to leave out. I think they're doing more bad than good being there. I know they're good players, but if they don't want to be there, you have to get rid. You have to get rid of them. Great result for Southampton, though, after, you know, a lot of people wrote them off after they lost to Spurs, but they've come back. They've won 2 in a row now. And, yeah, an amazing result. 2 great goals from Shea Adams. Well, 1 great goal from Shea Adams as well. If you have enjoyed the video, give it a like, please. Subscribe if you are new, because I will be doing more videos. I have a tier list of all the top 20, of all 20 Premier League managers, ranking them. It should be out Wednesday or Thursday, around there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching Liverpool vs Man United in 2.5 hours. And yeah, thank you for watching.